Jasprit. I get some messages from the team saying audience is getting restless. Okay. Some are complaining. I didn't get any this time. They were all happy to wait for you and wanted to see you. So and we can see the energy even now.
Yeah, usually I'm not late, but because of the rains and a wrong turn that was taken, so it took us a little longer than what we thought it would take us.
We know that when the moisture is in the air, things don't go exactly straight. They keep going right and left. So
apparently that happens on the road as well now, I guess.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, Express Adda is not something that's very often in Ahmedabad. In fact, it's our second time in Ahmedabad. And it couldn't have been with a better guest. It's a place for an intelligent conversation, for a patient, nuanced conversation, which is, we believe, lacking in media. So we like to be a little bit different. And there couldn't have been a better sports person than Bumrah, because while researching for this interview, I watched his previous interviews. I like to do that so I know what he already answered. And I was done in like 3 hours because he's done like 3 interviews. So it's very rare to have him. Very excited and very happy to have him here. Okay, Jasprit, we believe you're the world's best bowler. Do you agree?
See, that is something that is not for me to decide. In my head, even when I started, I would always think that I'm very good, because if I don't believe in myself, who else will? So that is what I do. But the narratives can change every now and then, that he's the best today, somebody else might be best today, tomorrow, like that. But in my head, whenever I come onto the field, I have a lot of confidence that I am good.
But the word best, does it motivate you, or does it kind of make you feel a little bit insecure about holding on to that crown, the best?
It doesn't really mean a lot to me, because at the end of the day, I love this sport, and that is why it motivates me to do well in the sport. As a child, I fell in love with the sport. I fell in love with fast bowling, and that is what I wanted to do. I never came into this sport thinking of, okay, I want this tag, I have to be known like this, and I want to reach there. I love the sport, I wanted to make my team win, I like winning, so I wanted to contribute, and if I want to contribute, I have to do a certain amount of skill that I should have, and that is how I look at it. I don't look at it, the tag that now people think I'm the best, so I have to be in a certain manner, I have to play in a certain manner. That term doesn't really, resonate with me.
And the fact that you've got, and Sandeep briefed me before that, 4 run, an economy rate of 4. In a format which is designed for the batsman, it's quite incredible. One of the fastest to get to 150 wickets. Is even T20 cricket no longer a batsman's sport now?
See, I am the advocate of bowlers, that I feel that cricket is a bowler sport, because obviously I understand that, our country loves big batsmen, and fair enough. But for me, bowlers drive the game, because how we bowl decides, where the result will go, and how we force the batsman, that is the place where they'll hit. So for me, bowling is something that I really like. As a child, I saw this on the television, and like any other youngster in India, wanted to be a cricketer, so I started doing that. And yes, T20 cricket is interesting, but I come from a generation where Test cricket used to come more on the television, and that was the main format. And for me, till date, it's still the greatest format, because I feel that if I do well in that, all the other formats will take care of itself. So for me, yes, I do enjoy T20. Don't get me wrong that I don't rate it. But for me, I look at myself at Test cricket, and then I'll judge myself on what I do there, not on any other format.
But still, I mean, is the batsman bias an audience one then? The guys who are not playing cricket but watching cricket, do you think the bias comes from the audience, or is it something that you're fighting even internally within the cricket with the cricketing players?
See, within our setup, there is no difference between a batsman, bowler, because all of us have to do a job to make the team win. So in our circle, it's not there. Now, outside people, what they like, how they resonate with certain players, and if they resonate with batsmen, they have heroes who are batsmen. So then you can't control that, right? You cannot tell people that, okay, forcefully like bowlers.
No, of course,
If they do, they do. If they don't, they don't. So it's like that. But obviously, it comes from a place where, you know, people have to get inspired by. I did get inspired by watching the television. So I did see a lot of bowlers doing well. So that resonated with me. It might not be the case with some people. They might be
No, but
watching batsmen.
But if you see the number of, all the man of the match, it's all it seems to be a bias towards the batsman, and it's more so in India, And I mean, the Indian cricket captain, the last Indian cricket captain that was a bowler was who?
I guess, yeah.
Was
It's been a
Kapil Dev?
while, yeah.
Yeah, see, obviously, like I told you, like the batsman bowler narrative is only outside, not in the team, because everybody has to do their job. It's not like only the batters do it, then we'll win. If the bowlers do it, we win. So everybody has to work in harmony. So that is how I look at it. Now, rest, the debate is not in my hands that, you should promote bowlers or you should do this, you should do that. That is not for me to decide. That is for the world to decide. For me, I've never tried to, create a narrative that you have to become, bowlers have to be more important and, promote us more and give us more limelight. I have never played this sport for that. So I want to do my job to the best of my ability, and then after that, whatever comes, it comes with it.
Jasprit, like you said that you learned your fast bowling through television, watching, that was the main thing. I've read somewhere that like you would every day change your action. Like if you watch, say, Wasim Akram, you will try that. You see Makaya Intini, you go down, play in your building with your friends, you again change your action. So what was it? Like who were the bowlers who influenced? And one of your friends told me that you could actually bowl with your left hand also. Like how you had this thing about watching something and doing exactly that in the evening when you go down to play.
So I was one of those kids, whenever you hear the commentary that, if there's any youngster watching, you can learn cricket like that. So I was that youngster. I was so fascinated by the sport that I didn't get a lot of formal training, and my mother also didn't want me to play cricket till I finished my 10th because she thought that I'll not be able to focus on my education. So the only way that I could learn was through the television. And for me, as a child, whoever takes wickets and is doing well, so I used to try and copy that because I didn't have my own proper action. So I think that jumbled up and became something interesting that I have now. But yeah, I was fascinated by left arm bowlers as well. I used to try and bowl with the left arm. I am ambidextrous. I can do that, but obviously there's a pace difference.
Any names if you can mention, like from your childhood days? Okay, you're watching some India-Pakistan and you watch Akram or any other.
Unfortunately, there's no one name because every few weeks, obviously they are great bowlers, but there's not one particular name that, okay, I'll say this is the person I saw an eye for. Today it could be a Wasim Akram, tomorrow it could be a Shane Bond, it could be anyone. It kept on changing because the matches kept on changing and the bowlers who were taking wickets were changing. So for me it was like that. But yeah, it fascinated me quite a lot, and I'm from a generation where PlayStation had not really come in, so we used to go out and play a lot of cricket. We used to play a lot of outdoor sport. So we used to do that, and I was fascinated by it. I used to keep on doing it, and I didn't realize that I'm developing a skill.
Just there's this fascinating story about you and your Yorkers, right? It started with your afternoon sessions inside your home while your mother is sleeping in the next room. You try to bowl the Yorkers and try to aim it exactly at the bottom of the wall so that it won't make noise. So you and Yorkers have this long relationship. Like, how favorite is that ball of yours? And then you meet somebody like Lasith Malinga, like the master of. And you've gone on to say that maybe even he's got a better Yorker than you even now, right? So what is this fascination with this one ball, and how has it evolved over the years? Like you have changed, you have so many variations. You have the slower Yorker, faster Yorker, reverse swinging Yorker. So please, your journey with the Yorkers.
So because I watched a lot of television, and this delivery is like a cinematic thing that stumps has fallen, the batsman are on the ground. So for a youngster, it's exciting that I also want to do this. So that is probably the first delivery maybe I observed in cricket. So for me as a youngster, I thought, okay, if you want to take wickets, this is that delivery you have to bowl. So if you see something on the television, you go back with your friends, you're trying to do that. So that is, I think, that's how I developed it. But going further, I did not realize that I was developing a skill. Now, when I came into serious cricket, I realized that I have a skill, I've kept it with me. But along with that, I cannot be a one-trick pony, and this is something that I got it from tennis ball cricket and I got it to serious cricket. But what are the other things that I have to develop? Because there are a lot of aspects to bowling. They have to know a lot of other things as well, along with the Yorker. So yes, it's cinematic. It's a spectacle that yes, when you execute it, it looks really good. It looks even better on a photograph when the stumps have fallen and the batsman is also on the ground. But yes. That is somehow I got fascinated by it. I used to watch videos of these bowlers, bowling Yorkers, and then I used to visualize and dream and think that, okay, one day I'll also become a bowler like that and I'll bowl such deliveries and kids will look at me and try and follow that. So yeah, some days now this has started to happen, so it feels really good. And, I'm very happy that I have this delivery in my armory and it's helped me quite a lot in my cricket.
Just with off late, like we see you and we remember all these balls from the T20 World Cup, like Head, Rizwan, Marco, right? So, and you have a knack of coming up with the right ball at the right time, right? So, like I'm sure it is like hours and hours of hard work. But how important is the reading the mind of the batsman, like second guessing what he's thinking, and then maybe coming up with something which is different from what he's thinking. So what is it like? You sit with computers, is just you think on your feet, or how does that work?
So when I came into cricket, then I actually didn't know a lot, because when I started playing in the IPL as well, I even used to go and tell Rohit that you set the field, I don't know where the ball, I am going to bowl this ball, you set the field and I trust you, whatever you feel is right, you set the field. But then slowly I realized that, I cannot be wholly dependent on someone, because I have to learn my own craft. So slowly I started doing that, analysis of what do I do, how do I take wickets, and how do I become successful. So initial years when I was trying to, learn the craft a little more, that is the time I used to look a lot at the data and analysis. I used to do a lot. I used to say that this is the place where I have to bowl, this is the trend. But then later on, when I realized that, yes, now I know a lot of things, I don't want to overcomplicate things. So now I trust my skill, I trust my gut, and then when I come to the game, I know that, okay, I trust my decision-making ability, that when I'll come into that pressure situation, I'll take the right decision, and I feel that I'll trust my instincts to take over and take the right decision on that moment.
So it isn't something in the sense like, okay, the England series is there, and so okay, they have Joe Root, and this is how he plays. And you're sitting at home and generally having your breakfast, and there is this eureka moment that, okay, this is what I should be bowling. You keep brooding about your bowling, or is it, again, as you said, there on the field when you're at the top of your run-up?
So when I was a youngster, yes, I used to think a lot more. But then now I'm married, I have a child. I don't really have a lot of time to think about bowling at breakfast, and I don't really think a lot about cricket when I'm not playing cricket. To keep myself fresh and to, stay hungry about the game, I try and switch off. I don't think about cricket. We don't talk a lot about cricket. I know the perception might be that I'm very serious and I think about cricket all the time. I don't. I hardly talk about it. We talk about all the other things other than cricket. And when, as I told you, when I come to the ground, then I let the game come to me. I trust my instincts and I let it take over. And then I know I have the skill. I've done the repetition so many times in the nets when I was growing up. So then I let it come to me naturally.
But just be still, that reading of the human mind, like understanding the psychology of a batsman. I'm sure, like, okay, like he's hit a couple of fours and you're thinking maybe like this is what he's expecting. Like, how do you train for that? How do you process that, like, to master that thing, that over reading what he's thinking?
So that comes with a lot of practice. Like I told you, when I was a child, I used to play a lot of cricket and I used to do a lot of bowling in the nets because I wanted to develop skills. So when I'm developing a skill, I'm bowling against a batsman. So I come against all scenarios, right? Some days the wicket is different, some day the batsman is playing different, some day the ball is swinging, some day the ball is not swinging. So I go back there, that what has worked for me, what is the trend. I've played a lot of cricket now, so I've gained experience from that. what is the trend, how the situations have worked, and I observe as well. So I see the trend, what is working on that particular day. If supposedly I'm bowling second, I'm looking at the opposition team as well, said, okay, this is what they did right, and this is what they did not do right. So I'll try to learn from that. I try to learn by watching, and then that's it. Then you try to make the right decision at the right time. It's not that all the decisions will always come off. Some days you make the wrong call as well, but you try to, take your chances on the probability that which of your decision will be right. So you try to play the odds that way, and then you go ahead and trust yourself, and you try to execute with the best effort that you can put.
How much, you mentioned that you don't think about cricket as much as you used to after getting married and after having a kid, and I understand that. I used to wake up and read 6 newspapers, now I'm down to 3. After having my he's 4 now, but I'm still down only 3 papers. But it seems to have improved your game, actually. The fact that you don't think about it so much. You don't think about the sport so much, it's actually improved your game.
So maybe my reading of the whole situation is that, when you have a life and outside of the game, you have a lot of other things to think about, because our sport is so popular that you're constantly thinking, you're constantly trying to please the world, that you can sometimes be too intense and then you're too hard on yourself. So sometimes when all of these things, take the back seat and your family is the priority at that time, you don't focus on all of those things, and you're a little calm and relaxed, and you don't try too hard. You enjoy the game a little more, because obviously cricket is very important, but family comes first. So family has to be taken care of. So in that, you're, not over-analyzing, not overthinking, not over-complicating things. So you're nice and relaxed, and when the game comes to you, then you play with a smile, and then you enjoy the sport as much as you can.
That's a lovely answer. And I want to, if I can just deviate and give a little bit of my own gyan, sorry to bore everybody. But I have this theory. I really feel like over time, the world is heading to a place where in every field, not just sports, so we all think we need to be hyper-aggressive, hyper-competitive. We need to almost be bullies to win. You look at politics, look in the corporate world, and you look at sports. The gentlemanly nature of any sport, actually, it's all moving towards this feeling where, if you're not hyper-aggressive, you just can't win. And actually, that's one thing I loved about this World Cup victory, was that, it's you guys, and specifically, Rohit and Dravid, these are 2 gentlemen, at least that's the public persona of them. They're 2 gentlemen, and they kind of won, their leadership won. But by and large, there is this notion that, we're more and more moving to an era of hyper-aggression, and the nice guys don't generally win. Do you feel that you're kind of against the grain then in sports, in your field?
So, according to me, see, aggressive notion has a lot of meanings, right? You could be calm and you can still be aggressive, and it's not that one trick thing that, okay, you're aggressive, you're angry, and everything will just take care of itself. I am always of the believer that you cannot be like everyone, right? You have to understand how you are as a person. You cannot try to copy someone. You can be inspired by someone, but that person has their own skills. You must be different. You have to find out what works for you. So be it aggressive, if it's that, great. But if it's not, you can't be pretending to be aggressive, because you'll be called out eventually. So for me, I don't look at others. Yes, when I started, I'm a fast bowler. I don't enjoy getting hit. I'm not here to, give throwdowns, and the batsman can hit me all over the park, and, I'll just smile and be happy. But I've found my own way that, if I become too aggressive. When I was a youngster, I had this problem that, I used to get too angry, and then I used to try and bowl very fast. That never worked for me. So I realized that...
It didn't work for you, meaning you would lose line and length?
I would lose line and length. I would not really bowl well, and eventually I would be not helping the team, and I would be giving a lot of runs. So I realized that, okay, it's not necessary to be angry or maybe go overboard, but how do I use it to my advantage? So I kept on playing, and I realized that when my best performance comes, what is my mindset? So then I'm calm and relaxed. But yes, there is that competitive spirit to win. You're not there to just participate. So that is there, but you have to find your own way. this works for me. We have a lot of characters in our team, who are aggressive, and that works for them. Who wear their heart on their sleeves. Good on them. It works for them. But I will not blindly follow anyone, and I wanted to be my individual self. So this is what works for me, and this is how I try to, move ahead. That every individual is different, and your qualities will always be different.
Jasprit, you talk about aggression. I'll take you to your first test match, Cape Town, right, Table Mountain. And you're bowling the first morning, right? And finally, we have a bowler who's bowling real pace and short and all. There was these cries from all the batsmen who were in the slips. Finally, there was somebody who was giving back to them, right? So are there times when the batsmen in the team are more inclined to ask you to bowl those short balls, or they want more aggression from you, just in terms of like what they have been getting for so many years? Like finally there's an Indian bowler who bowls at that speed. He's got a brutal bouncer also, but over expectation of bounces from you, from the team at times?
No, not really. See, aggression, as I told you, when I was a youngster, it's not necessary that you have to go out there and, say things verbally. There have been great bowlers who have not said a word, but their face says everything and their actions speak a lot. So, usually, I have not been in scenarios where I had to fight a lot. Very few and far have been the incidents, but usually people don't fight a lot with me because they think that if you try and needle that person, he'll become even more motivated. So I've never had those requests from any of the batters that purposely bowl bouncers and try and hit people. They eventually know that my competitive spirit is on, and I'm not there to let the guard easy, and I'll try and make run making or the batsman feel uncomfortable without even saying things, because when you know that you're in a situation where things are not going to be easy, I know I can bowl fast, so I know I can use a lot of my deliveries. When I want to, intimidate, I don't need to say it. I can, my ball can talk, and it can do the talking for me. So I don't need to do it for the cameras and be over animated and try and to be a clown. So for me, it's important to, hold your composure and be true to yourself. This is how I am. So. That's how I usually try and conduct myself on the ground.
We were speaking to one of your friends, I think a story which we did, where he said that in those initial days, those tennis ball days, like in case if you hit for a 4 or a 6, the next ball is definitely going to be a bouncer. But how over the years you have changed that, you have put a rein on your mind, that we see you playing international cricket, like very different. For all you know, it could be a slower ball. Like I remember this game against Afghanistan, their opener was hitting you all, as in he hit a couple of 4s or something, and you would expect, okay, you would bowl a bouncer. But a lovely slower ball outside, and he was out in the slips. So this whole thing about keeping a rein on your mind, how important is that, and how you change over the years?
No, so see, obviously that competitive spirit is always there. I will obviously push and try and, to get the batsman out. And the game that you're talking about, I know, Arshdeep got hit, and then I was bowling the second over. Yeah. So I realized that what is going to work, that length ball is not doing a lot, and the ball is not swinging. So I realized that pattern from there, that, this pattern will not work today. So you have to be proactive. You might have to use your change of pace earlier. So this is what I was talking about, the observation that maybe somebody else is bowling, but I'll still keep my eyes open and my thought process is open, that what do I have to do. So all of these things. And obviously, yes, like I told you, I'm a fast bowler. I'm not there to give throwdowns, even in the nets. Sure. I might not need go there and abuse the batsman, but I will not try and make life easy. I want to make it tough, because that's how I play my cricket. I play my cricket with a lot of pride, and I do want to win, like any other sportsman. So I try to give my absolute best in whatever competition that I come in, and then whoever is good on that particular day will win. So that's how I operate.
There's 2 balls of late which you have bowled, which are very memorable, and they are very important for Indian cricket in general. One was that Rizwan ball, a match we thought at the very start of the tournament, you're playing Pakistan, it could have gone the other way. And the other, I think more significant even in terms of world cricket, was that ball you bowled to Ollie in the test match series, right? They had won the test, they were quite there. And then you came up with this incredible ball to Pope. 2 stumps flying, which I've never seen. So just, if you can just talk about these 2 balls, which I think people will remember for long.
So there is, see, like I told you, I was not visualizing any ball that this is what I want to do. I want to create this magic moment and, create headlines and want to be in the papers that, I have done this. I was not thinking about that. I was in that particular moment, like it's a cliched term that, stay in the present and follow the process. But I actually was in that I was focusing on how can I help the team against Pakistan, where we were playing in New York. Yeah. It was a challenging wicket. It was not that easy to, score runs, and there was a decent amount of help in the wicket. So we had done well, we'd bowled well, and we were creating pressure. Yes, we did not have enough runs. So in that particular moment, you understand that when I had come, I understand the thought process that he was there. If he would have hit me, then, it dents the confidence.
But isn't it the other way around? He shouldn't have hit you. You are the best bowler, yeah.
But I was thinking that he might look to hit me, because it gives a statement, right? It gives a statement that if he's hit me, that I was bowling really well on that day. Right. So it would help their confidence, and then pressure would come to us. So yes, so I was trying to keep an eye that what are the kind of deliveries that are difficult to hit. So I realized that there was a little bit of seam on that wicket. So I tried to bowl that, and the wicket came, and then we created a lot of pressure and won the game. So it's like that. It's not like I've thought about it sitting one day before the game that this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to create magic moments. No, it doesn't work like that. If you think about that, the magic moments will never come. So the game will give you magic moments, but I have to be in that game, and I have to think about what I have to do and how can I help the team. In that, if you create magic memories, that's great.
The baseball thing, coming to the Ollie dismissal, like it would have, even like if they had won in India also, again, like the world would have said that this is the new way of playing Test cricket. And that changed, that moment changed that series, right? How important was that? Especially when this thing was being said that they are the only guys who play aggressive cricket, right? So, and it was very important for the team also, I guess, isn't it?
See, for us, we take a lot of pride in the way we play cricket. Obviously, those terms of baseball and aggressive, and we're playing at a high pace, that is something that we don't have to think. Yes, for me as a bowler, I've said it before, I think as well, that if people are playing hyper aggressive, I don't have to do a lot. The opportunities will come to me. I don't have to go searching for it. And obviously in India, reverse swing is a big part. And in England, you don't need to face reverse swing, because the normal conventional swing also stays for a long period of time. So we take a lot of pride in our processes, and we have a lot of belief, and we take a lot of confidence in how we've played our cricket. So we were looking at our team. And obviously, that series was quite interesting, because a lot of the senior players were not also there. A lot of the new guys were making their debuts. Usually the wickets in India do turn, but there were flat wickets, and there was not a lot of help. So this makes it even sweeter. The reverse swing came into play. I've taken a lot of wickets in Ranji Trophy through reverse swing, so I've learned the craft over there. So again, I go back there. I realized that what has worked for me, and then you try to use it to my craft. How do I have to use the craft, even if it's Test cricket? At the end of the day, the wicket remains the same. It's just that the batsman changes, and whatever changes, the things that change are in your mind. So I was going in that direction. So we were very happy that that series was quite a memorable series, and how we started in that first game, that also became close, and then how we were able to turn it by the end of it. That's a special series for us.
Think a lot. Bowlers are the one who plot the wickets. So why doesn't India or the general world consider them as captains?
Yeah, that is something that I don't decide. I cannot go to the team and say, now you have to make me captain. I don't have that much power, and it is above my pay grade. But yes, I feel the bowlers are the smart people, because they have to get the batsman out, and we are obviously always fighting the odds, because the grounds are shorter, the bats are better. I don't remember any article or any technology coming that, okay, we are helping the bowlers to swing the ball a lot more. Obviously, the people enjoy the ball being thrown around and like to see sixes being hit. But that's okay. So I feel that because bowlers are fighting the odds and have to do the hard job, we're not hiding behind a bat, we're not hiding behind a flat wicket. We're right in the firing line. When we lose a game, it's usually the bowlers that are being blamed. So it's a hard job. It's a hard job. So I feel that, I take a lot of pride in doing that job. It requires a lot of guts to also, physically put a lot of strain on your body and, still enjoy the game and still create an impact. So and you have to face a lot of challenges that come along with it. So I feel that because of all of these challenges, you always find new ways. The bowlers find different ways of succeeding, and fighting the odds, make you a lot braver. So I think leadership requires you to be brave. So I am also always of the opinion that obviously whenever we've seen Pat Cummins doing really well. So when I was a child, I'd seen Wasim Akram captaining, I'd seen Waqar Younis captaining, Kapil Dev has won as a World Cup, Imran Khan has won a World Cup for Pakistan. So bowlers are the smart ones. It's just that, okay, sometimes physically it's strainful for them, so I can understand that sometimes leadership has gone to batsmen, but it is the way it is, and it depends on what the team feels is right and how they want to take the team forward. But in my opinion, I really think highly of bowlers, and I am a fan till date of fast bowlers, so I'm of the opinion they are the smart ones.
But is it a complaint though? Like, do you think this is by and large there is a complaint of this bias then? I mean, I'm not saying you and your team, but just generally, like around the world and in India, that that people tend to choose. I mean, is it like a well-known complaint amongst bowlers that you guys are ignoring our strikes?
See, amongst ourselves, like I told you, we cannot control the world.
No, but it's a complaint. But
we don't complain that people should love us more, because we are very happy. I have a lot of people who love me, and I'm very happy and blessed with a loving family. But we as bowlers are doing very well for ourselves. We as cricketers God has been very kind, with the amount of commercial aspects that have come into the game. We're doing very well. So we are not going out there and complaining that, we want more and people should do this, people should do that. And we are trying to give a narrative that please cheer for us and wear our jerseys and wave our flags. That is something for the people to decide. If they want to do it, that's great. But there's no complaint amongst us, or we're not feeling left out at all.
Okay, but this whatever you're saying, the commercial side and just the new avenues for fame. I mean, it's obviously it's a new world compared to what it was 20, 30 years ago. It's a bit of a double-edged sword, and how much of the audience pressure, like you said that now you don't care so much after the family. That's one thing that's changed in your sport, but. Is that something that you think about, or you used to think about, that you're susceptible to that kind of the audience? I mean, how fickle are they? Like one day they love you, next day they hate you. Just talk a bit about audience support.
See, obviously, it does play a role. I cannot just deny the fact that you just keep a blind eye, but every individual is different. So obviously, when I started as well, initially 1 or 2 years. I also wanted to be of that opinion that I want to be praised, and I want people to like me, and I want to I want praises, and I want people to think that I'm very good. But then I realized in a couple of years that you cannot please the world. So I thought that if it's a battle that you cannot win, it's no point fighting that battle. So I stopped completely. I looked at what is important to me and what is the thing that is going to be constant and that is not going to change with time. So that eventually I cordoned it out, and I realized that the people who are close to me and my family, they'll always give me an honest review. They will not, just sing praises for me, even if I do well or bad. So I realized that quickly. Obviously, social media and, opinions are way too many now. So people have to, be thick-skinned. Players do have to find their own way. For me, what works for me is I don't take anything seriously. Because apart from my game and my family, that's all that matters to me. Today people are praising me, great. Tomorrow they don't, it doesn't matter to me. Because when I started playing this sport, I went back to the drawing board. When I started, there was no one on the ground. It was me having fun with the ball. And I fell in love with the sport. Rest, everything that comes along, yes, you have to take it with a pinch of salt, because I'm not going to play forever. This limelight will not stay forever. these narratives will keep on changing. So I cannot go up and down with narratives. So for me, the thing that is not constant is not important. Obviously, you appreciate praise, but you don't feel that you're the best in the world because people are praising you, and one day later you suddenly become the worst player in the world. So I can't go up and down with that emotion. So I look at myself and I realize that if I fell in love with the sport, I will look at my sport and I will put a tick mark on the things that matter to me. So that's how I usually operate.
This is wonderful. It's a wonderful, very mature answer, and I'm really happy that you're speaking this language. I think when I have seen sometimes sports people and maybe even other celebrities, in Bollywood especially, you'll see that they link it to their earnings, right? Like if you walk into a stadium and people are screaming your name, you're going to earn more money from endorsements that year, as opposed to them not, So there is a financial linkage. So have you also developed a similar disdain for wealth as you have for fame?
So for me, fame comes with the sport. I've always been a person who wanted to be, very good at what I do. I never focused on fame. I never focused on, trying to be very famous. I want these number of followers. I want to be known here. People should be screaming my name. No. For me, it was always cricket. I wanted to be the best player to the best of my ability. So I wanted to do that. Now, fame and all of that does come, commercial aspects do come with it. But like I said, you cannot control everything. Because yes, today we are doing well, so people are singing praises. People will, suddenly feel that, yes, you're very, very good. But suddenly if it changes, how can you go to that emotional roller coaster? So obviously, I come from a generation where I wanted to be like someone.
Yeah.
So now times have changed that I used to look at someone like a Sachin Tendulkar or someone that I wanted to know what he is doing. So now things have changed that people have started to dictate narratives how we should be behaving and how we should be doing. So I never really could relate to it because I was always of that opinion that people should follow me, right? I will not I will not be dictated by the world that how I should be. I will be how I want to be. If the world likes me, great. If they do not, maybe some people will not like me. But that's how I look at it. That's from the generation that I came from. That I have got certain idols that I used to look up to. So I wanted to be like them. I was never of that opinion that they have to be how I think they should be. So that's something that has always been there with me, and that's how I still operate.
But because a lot of young people look up to you, obviously young people want to be like you and young bowlers. Would you caution them about this new world, and just like you have obviously gotten to this after some ups and downs in your career. So would you caution them that, not to link sort of their success with fame, and do you see that this caution needs to be put out?
For me, the basic advice that I would give is that you cannot take everything seriously. You cannot take social media seriously. You cannot take the papers seriously, and you cannot take everyone very seriously because you have to realize what is important for you.
Yeah.
And that is something that you have to find out very quickly, and you have to have a close circle that will keep you grounded and that will keep you in check and tell you what is important for you, because if you go up and down in that roller coaster, it's not going to work, and you'll added pressure. You'll keep on adding pressure, and anyway, in whatever sport or whatever profession you are, there'll always be challenges and pressure that is going to make your life difficult. So by adding this, it will make your life even more difficult. It's easier said than done than just we are human beings, we are social people, and we do take care of opinions. But now the world is heading in that direction where so many opinions are there that when I was a child, I didn't know what the world thought about me. I only knew what my friends think about me and my family, and that's all that mattered. And I had a wonderful childhood and I was very happy. So because of so much of exposure of social media and the narratives that have started, you have to realize and compartmentalize that there is a real life. There is something that you have to stay away from. You have to be close to reality, because there's so many occasions where people sometimes might say certain things, but that will never be spoken to you face to face.
Yeah.
So that means that that's not important, right? So you have to compartmentalize like that, and you have to understand what is important to you, and you'll not be able to please the world. So don't try to do that.
No, super. But I still want to ask you your opinion on audiences. Is the evolution of the Indian fan, are they more fickle now or are they more loyal now?
It depends, right? It depends on the results quite a lot. So so now we won, so it's been going well. But yes, obviously with time, fans will evolve as well, because you understand sport. It's not always you win, you've got followers, and if you don't win, everybody's will give you negative feedback. But obviously with time, you understand the sport. As much as you start falling in love with the sport, you understand there's a lot of variable in sport. You will not win everything. There will be good days, bad days. So I think that change is slowly coming. So, that's a positive sign for us moving forward.
So I must say, I was a little surprised with just how brutal fans can be. And I don't know whether, I don't remember seeing that, growing up when we were the fans in the stand. I mean, I'm not in the stand as often as I used to be when I was in school and stuff. But I mean, the kind of if you just look at what happened with Pandya, with Hardik, it was, we saw scenes of him entering his home ground, and the kind of, and the armies that kind of come around. One is a social media piece, and now that how much of it is authentic, we don't really know all of that. But when you see sort of walking into a crowd, your own home stadium, everybody just being so brutal. I'm not going to repeat words and all that I was picking up. Did that not surprise you?
See, obviously, sometimes we understand that we live in a country where emotion is really the talking point. It's an emotion-driven country, so we understand that fans do get emotional, and players are also emotional. It does affect that you're an India player, and then you are playing in India, and then sometimes your own fans are not speaking well of you, but it is the way it is. You got to take it on your chin, because how can you go out there and stop people? If you start focusing on yourself, then you try to shut that door. Obviously, it's not that simple that just don't focus about it, don't think about it, don't listen. They are screaming and you can hear it, but then that inner circle helps you. We as a team don't encourage that. We don't promote that. We don't think that is warranted. Now the world can think about what they want to do. So we as a team were very with him. We were talking to him. If he needs support, everybody, his family will always be there. So all of these things, and certain things are beyond your control. So if it happened, it happened. Now suddenly that narrative also changed, and we won the World Cup. So
and
it is
changed like that, like
yes.
literally in one day, in like 2 hours, all of that hatred, all that brutality just went. I mean, I was there on Marine Drive when you guys drove the bus through. My house was right there, so I came down with my kid. He was gone again. I mean, it was like in 2 hours.
So this is the thing that I was telling, right? That you cannot take it seriously, because again the people are singing praises. This does not mean that it's the be all and end all. Few days later, once we lose another game, again the narrative can change. So you take it with a pinch of salt. You understand that this is how it is, and you understand that now, because we play a sport that is so popular. Every sportsman will go through things will go up and down. In football, you'll see fans booing people, but people take it to the best players in the world face all of these things. So this is a part of the sportsman's journey, that yes, things might happen that are not great. That's not a great spectacle. Sometimes it's not fair also that what you're facing, but it is the way it is. We live a great life. We've got a lot of good things in our sport, and we are doing very well for ourselves. So all of these challenges will come, and they'll make you better if you take it in the right manner.
But you guys decided to, you were hearing that stuff in the home stadium, and you decided to proactively go and be supportive.
Yeah, we as a team, we play cricket. We cannot leave a man behind, and we cannot think about, okay, we're not going to think about it. We are there for each other. Everybody's trying to help each other, and if anyone needs help, it might not be someone, because I played a lot of cricket with Hardik. It might be a youngster who's just come into the team, but we are together, and we just it's us against the world. It's like that. So we'll try to give as much support as we can, and obviously you don't want to intrude too much as well. So you give the person space as well. But whatever help is needed, we, as I said, we do not appreciate or warrant that we are spreading that and it's fair that this should happen or that should happen. We were together and we were trying to help him if he needed help.
You spoke about football, and in this world divided between Messi and Ronaldo fans, you are a Abramovich fan, isn't it? Yeah. So, what could be the reason? I read a line from his book. I wanted to stand up to the whole world and show everybody who's doubted me who I really was. Is it something which you connect to? And what is the reason why you like this?
So, see, like I told you, I've never been a crowd follower. So it's not like because 50 people like certain people, I like that person. I've always been very different in that aspect. I am a fan because his story resonated with me. Because when I started playing the sport, I come from a family where nobody's played the sport, nobody knows anything about the sport. So not a lot of belief was there, so I had to instill belief in myself that I'll be a cricketer. Then I came into the sport. I used to bowl a little differently. I still do. So so people did not have a lot of belief in the cricketing setup that what is this? What is this bowling style? This will not last. So fighting the odds and making it big, that is something that I had seen in his story as well. And not letting the world affect him and in fact dictating terms how he wanted to live his life. Right. That is something that resonates with me, and that is something that I also picked up. So that is why I'm till date a fan, and he lives his life how he wants to live, right. Not the world, how the world will dictate. If you like him, great. If you don't, right. That's how it is. So that is why I think his story resonated with me, and I went more into it, and I became a fan.
You
eventually.
Met him ever?
I've never met him, but hopefully one day, I get an opportunity to meet him.
Okay. You said that nobody from your family had played cricket. So there's this interesting thing, I think, where your mother says that she gave you 3-4 years till your graduation to work out on cricket. If it works, great. Or you go to Canada, which is a very Punjab thing, I guess, right? So do you sit and ever imagine that what you would have done going to Canada? Maybe you would have been playing this World Cup for Canada, for India's bad luck, it didn't happen. So, what you had in mind about, in case cricket doesn't work, what could have been the future for you?
See, if I'll give a really honest answer, I have no clue. Because in my head, I'd always convinced myself that, I'm very good and somehow I'll become a cricketer. But yes, obviously you come from a background where nobody knows anything about the sport. My uncle, used to live in Canada, now he lives in America. So he lives there, so we had decided that, till my mother had given me a few years that, you can try whatever you do is in this cricket and all you can try. Because she thinks that, so many people play sport and how will you get there? We don't have a lot of means to give you, and you've not really done this since you were a child. So it's a fair as well. But we thought that, we'll give it a shot, and then probably I'll go and study in Canada and try to make a living there. So, yeah, in this World Cup as well, I met the Canadian team, and they also jokingly asked me that, if you would have come here, we would have played the World Cup together. So that was a conversation that was funny to have. That now I don't think you'll even think of coming. But yeah, so eventually I'm very happy that I could follow my passion and make a profession of that, because I'm one of the few ones that I don't have to motivate myself to go to work, or I don't have to look at anything else that I've till date. It's been common that my mother used to tell me that I have to force you to study and you have to do things, but for cricket she never used to, she's never seen me complain. I'll get up early, do things myself, and went to play cricket. She'd not seen me play cricket, but she knows that he's diligent about that. So very happy that it worked out. I never really thought about that, what if it didn't work out, but probably it worked out for the best.
But just with crazy conviction, like from a place like Ahmedabad, at that point it wasn't famous for producing world-class cricketers. With the action of yours, so if you go back and think about your story, do you start believing in fate? You go and play that game in Pune, John Wright is sitting there, he sees you, You go to a franchise which has people like Malinga, who is a master of the kind of bowling which you do. You have somebody like Shane Bond, who has been injured for so long. He has a very long history of injuries. They both are so important for your career, isn't it? So, do you believe in fate? And do you think your mother was, in a way, right? Because there was no rationale in you pursuing cricket in Gujarat.
See, now I am a father. I understand that thought process that, okay, suddenly you think that your son says that he wants to make a profession out of something you have absolutely no idea of, and that is such a popular sport, and so many people and so much of competition is there that it can actually be very difficult. And if you don't have a backup plan, then what do? You've got absolutely nothing to do. So I understand that fear. And now, earlier when I was a child, I used to think that she should show a lot more faith. But now I understand. I said that yeah, your fear was valid. But yes, I do believe that to reach certain places, sometimes it is meant to be. But the people who get there are usually the ones who are working very hard. So it's not like I was an overnight success. Right. That I had to work really, really hard. And I was really diligent in what I was doing. So then God gave me an opportunity that, I was at the right place at the right time. Things clicked. And, I had not imagined that this is how my journey would go. And, usually you hear these stories about, some people will spot you and then you get selected. That doesn't happen. That only happens in fairy tales. But it actually happened with me. That John Wright did see me, and I was a 19-year-old, having an IPL contract. So that is something that I'm grateful for, and I do realize that you have to be at the right place at the right time, but to stay there, you have to do even more hard work. So luck might get you there, but to stay there, luck will not help you. You have to be good and you have to work hard to be, staying at that position for long.
But just following up on Sandeep's question, to what degree are you where you are because of free will, and to what degree are you where you are because of destiny?
Of destiny.
To what degree is it destiny that got you here? To what degree is it the free will, your hard work?
It's 60-40, I guess, because
60 in favor of
60 in favor of the hard work, because you will only be lucky if you work hard, because then eventually that ratio changes to 70% hard work and 80% hard work. But initially, yes, you need to get a little bit of luck, because so many people play this sport, and India is full of talent. Yeah. So sometimes you might be great, but you'll never be spotted. Obviously now, because of social media and coverage, that doesn't happen now, because you'll obviously, if you're very, very good, you will be eventually spotted. But I do understand, and I am grateful for the opportunity that was given to me. I'm not saying that, okay, I am the be-all and end-all, and everything that I've gotten is just because of hard work. I do work really very hard, but there are certain aspects that you cannot control, and sometimes it just works out.
What do you believe in things like, do you believe in a higher force, a larger energy of the universe? Do you believe in something called God, someone called God? How do you think about these things? Because you're obviously a deep thinker. I can see that in this conversation.
So I'm not that person who's very, religious, that if I, pray to God on Sunday and then He'll listen to me. I'm not of that school, but I do believe in God, and I do have that faith that there is a higher force, that, things are meant to be, and your journey, ups and downs, there are things that happen for a reason. Whatever happens, does make you better. So I do believe in that, because my journey is like that. Whatever has gone through in my journey, I would not change a thing, because every story or every ups and down has got a connection with where I eventually ended up, and every challenge eventually, when I think about it in hindsight, has made me better. So when I want to be better, a challenge will come for me to get better. So I think about it in this manner. So yeah, I do have that belief that it's a journey, and everybody's journey is different, and it will go in a certain way it's supposed to be.
So I think 2 more questions, we get to the audience. Then I've got a not so rapid fire.
So Jasprit, the way you speak now, but very early, even when you were around 19 or 20, you had a very matured head on your shoulders, and the kind of things which you said. When you now meet players of that age, maybe on the IPL circuit or maybe in the Indian team, is it a very different mindset in terms of are they very keen to play Test cricket? Is the IPL money just enough for them, right? See, and do you think as a senior player who's seen it all, a compulsion to tell them that, boss, what you're thinking is not right, it's only test match which will make you a complete player. Do you think that obligation towards Indian cricket and the game in general?
See, when I was a 19-year-old, my life has been different. I lost my father very early, so we became very close as a family. So obviously my upbringing was a lot different to others. And I was of a generation where, the opinions and that money had not really come in that quickly. So it took me a lot of years to, eventually it was no cash-rich lottery that, I just suddenly got a lot of money. So for me, my upbringing was a little different. But yes, now things are becoming different. Every year the sport is growing and the commercial aspect is becoming bigger. So we've had these conversations. It's our responsibility because now we're heading towards becoming seniors and there are a lot of youngsters coming in to help them if they need help. Because you don't want to intrude and give unnecessary advice. So when they come to you and ask for advice, that advice will stay. Free advice, nobody really cares about. This generation and any generation, we understand that. So obviously, in our Indian setup, as the conversations that I've had with youngsters, all of them are passionate about Test cricket because eventually they do realize that if you want to be, known as the best in the world, and if you want that accolades, one format will not be able to give you that. So if you have that vision of becoming the best player to the best of your ability, you'll have to do it in the Test format. If you want that respect, you want to have to do well in Test cricket. And to take Indian cricket forward, Test cricket has to be taken care of. And it is being taken care of. And players are passionate and they are quite keen on doing well there. Obviously, there will be some players that is there that they don't, if they do, are not fond of Test cricket, but that happens in all scenarios, that everybody cannot be on the same page, everybody cannot be having the same thought process. But majority of the players that are there in our setup and our batch are very keen on playing Test cricket and doing well not only in Test cricket but in all formats and taking care of Indian cricket and bringing more glory to Indian cricket, because that's our responsibility. When I came, there were a lot of senior players who were taking care of Indian cricket and we learned from them. So now we are heading in that goal. Now it's our job to take Indian cricket forward and try to make a mark and try to inspire more people and take this game forward, and then the next lot will come. So that's how the chain goes, and hopefully that chain will stay this way and more glory will come and things will fall into place.
Just with this slightly difficult question, see, when we see you on the field, like, you are not the kind of bowler who will just park yourself at long leg and not worry about the game. We see you at mid-on, you're talking to the young bowlers and all. So there is this thing that you are always thinking about the game. There is this perception that maybe like giving additional responsibility to a bowler will overburden him. Maybe like he wants to focus on just his bowling. The other thing which people keep talking about is injuries. Will he be there all the time? So isn't it there a need for somebody to say, or even you to say, that I can take it all?
See, perception changes with results, right? So I came from a perception where this bowling will not work, this bowling action will not work. Now people try and copy that. So perception changes with results, but you don't try and purposely say things. You try your results to talk. And obviously, see, Pat Cummins is a big example, right? A fast bowler who takes a lot of responsibility, takes a lot of pride, won the World Cup, won the WTC final, got a lot of positive results for the team. So it depends on how you think. What is your individual's perception? Me, as a bowler, I don't think that, it's a lot of burden, because when you play cricket, you want responsibility. You don't want to hide behind anyone, and you don't want to be the backbencher and, quietly do your work. You want to take the problem head on, and you want responsibility, that you have to be of that mindset that give me the ball, I will make a difference. Obviously, it will not happen every day, but you love responsibility, you want to make an impact. So I am of that opinion that there's no better thing that, you know, having responsibility and trying to make a change and try to make a change by taking Indian cricket forward. I don't think of it as a burden. And injuries is a thing that, you know, it can happen to anyone. A batsman get hit on the head, he's out of the game with a concussion. So then what do you do? So then you cannot be just labeling it. Yes, obviously fast bowling is a tough job, and I do understand that, but it depends on how you are looking at it. If it's a glass half full or it's a glass half empty, because I look at it, most important thing in cricket is captaining, how you bowl and how you set up fields, because when the team is batting, you don't have to captain. Everybody's sitting inside and there are only two people outside. You have to manage the field, you have to manage bowling changes, and you have to have empathy towards bowlers. Rohit is one of the few captains who has a lot of empathy towards bowlers, being a batsman. But, you know, having empathy and how to use bowlers when you have to use bowlers, it's a tough job, and to understand the bowler's mindset. So I think, see, bowlers can make very good captains, and they understand the sport and they understand what they have to do.
Lovely answer.
No, great answer. And I think I'm reading between the lines of that answer, but I won't elaborate more. But still, just tell us a little bit. I have two questions which go to the audience. But Rohit's captaincy, Virat's captaincy, Dhoni's captaincy. You've seen three, you know, incredible captains. Just tell us a little bit about how each one was different and how each one was similar.
See, each one will be similar in that aspect, like I said, that we have to take Indian cricket forward. Now, nobody was trying to copy anyone, because you cannot copy anyone. You cannot copy an MS Dhoni, you cannot copy a Virat Kohli, you cannot copy a Rohit Sharma. So that is the beauty of it, that comparisons are great. Comparisons will always be made on the results that you get, but, you know, every individual is different. Every individual's qualities are different. So when I made my debut under MS, you know, he gave me a lot of security quickly. So then you feel very secure. When I came to Australia, I had just taken a flight and I didn't know anyone. You know, how do you talk to MS Dhoni first time you're suddenly playing a game, you've not practiced with the team? So his way of doing things, he's one of the guys who, you know, has a lot of faith in his instincts, and he doesn't believe in a lot of planning, but he feels that, you know, he's made his plan on the go. So everyone's different. Virat's different. Virat is energy driven. You know, he's quite passionate. He wears his heart on his sleeve. He pushed us, you know, in terms of fitness. He changed the narrative that way. Rohit has a lot of empathy, understands players' emotions. He understands what's a player going through. He'll not, you know, obviously he's been a youngster. So everybody's qualities are different. So it's helped Indian cricket go forward. It's helped youngsters like us to, you know, learn from everyone, rather than making a comparison that this guy was better, this guy is not good, or this guy is bad. So you take
it's not
yes,
value,
but everybody's different. Everybody's different, and I add a lot of value to it. So that's the beauty of it, that, you know, when leadership changes, everybody brings a different quality, and you see a different side. So I think it's helped Indian cricket going further. And even when now Virat is not the captain, you know, he's still the leader. Captaincy is a post, yes, but the team is run by 11 players, and, you know, you need a lot of leaders in the team, because the captain has a lot of responsibility. He might be thinking about bowling changes, he might be thinking about something else. So if he's busy, then it's my job or it's somebody else's job to, you know, help the others, keep a check on what is happening. That's how things run, and wherever, you know, in a cricketing setup, leaders are very important. So I look at it this way, and yeah, so very happy that, you know, I've had an opportunity to play under different captainship, different captains, and, you know, a different aspect always comes up.
And what can Yadav and Gill learn from Rohit Sharma? Both Sky and Gill, what can they learn from Rohit Sharma? From all these three?
There's so much to learn, that, you know, how he's you know, evolved as a captain, how he's, you know, obviously you'll make mistakes. Captaincy is full of mistakes, and then you get better. So he's learned from his mistake. He's open to feedback. He's not rigid, my way or the highway. He'll listen to everyone, but he'll then eventually filter it out and realize what works for him. Then he has a lot of empathy. Like I said, he understands bowlers as well, that, you know, sometimes when you're bowling, you feel the temptation to bowl one more over, two more overs, but you understand that you're a human being, you get tired, he needs to be given a break. How do you manage players? How do you get that atmosphere that it's a comfortable space. People don't feel shy or intimidated, so they can play with freedom. There's so many qualities that any youngster can learn. So I've had a lot of, I'm grateful, and I have the privilege of playing under his captaincy for a long period of time. He's seen my journey of, evolving as a player. So it's great that, I've played a lot of cricket with him.
I think specifically how he managed Shami's episode, and he's spoken publicly about it, and Shami had a bit of a rough patch personally. That was some incredible leadership in a very competitive space. You give him credit for that particular episode?
I do not have a lot of knowledge about the Shami incident, but I can give you feedback that even the youngsters that came in the recent England series you were talking about, that he had that instinct that he realized that when he came into the team, how the youngsters might be feeling. So to help them, he made the atmosphere very, very comfortable. He'll take his extra effort, he'll take them out, he'll talk to them about the game, he'll try and push them that we have to take responsibility. You guys are youngsters, but still, we have to take responsibility early to make them comfortable, to take them forward, to not let them think that this is not their team. They are welcome as well over here. It's not like senior juniors. Yeah. In the sense, juniors are not important. Everyone is equally important. So that's, I think, the biggest positive in his captaincy, that obviously he's very skillful with his individual skill, and that is, we obviously know what quality he has as a batsman, but the captaincy aspect is very, very important for people to, sometimes you cannot see all of these things. This is not there on the camera, because all of these things happen behind the scenes, and all of those, the work that goes in is behind the scenes. So you eventually just see the end result. But how did we get there? All of these things are very important behind that.
The lovely story that you said, but your first game, you were flown to Australia, and literally nobody spoke to you until you just went onto the field, and they kind of, and I think Dhoni just said, just go do what you want to do, and I'll give you the field you want. Is that, and I'm assuming that Rohit Sharma and Rahul Dravid was the complete opposite. I'm assuming that they're much more calculated, much more planned. Is that a...
It depends on, it depends on how the individual is. My scenario at that moment was a little, that scenarios don't happen, that you have to take a direct flight from Delhi to Sydney, and then you land and you play the next day. I don't think usually that will happen quite often nowadays, but whenever you're selected in the team, so these guys will try and make them comfortable. And obviously nowadays, with a lot of exposure, people are very confident. They're not really intimidated coming into the Indian team, because they play IPL, they play with all the best players in the world. So all of these things do play a role, but yes, they're very, very diligent, and they understand the player, and then they give the feedback. It's not like one feedback or one way works for every individual.
Okay. One last question from me, then we go to the audience. I always wonder how the Indian cricket team, how do you all have this incredible camaraderie, which, obviously there are ups and downs, and we hear of things that happen in locker rooms, which any team, it's just natural. But by and large, the Indian cricket team as a unit is incredibly, it has incredible camaraderie. But literally, there is an entire country of people growing up saying, I want to be like Virat, I want to be like Rohit, I want to be like Bumrah, and literally, it takes 2-3 games, and the internal competition is so high. How do you balance that camaraderie, knowing that there's always so many people who kind of want that spot? It's a very coveted spot that you have. And you also want them to evolve, and you want the young guys to be faster than you, better than you. So how do you deal with that? How does that camaraderie maintain when you know that, listen, you don't have to run faster than the tiger, but just run faster than the guy next to you, that old corporate saying.
So I think, because everybody's gone through a similar journey, everybody knows the hardships of, making it big, and all of us had the same dream of, eventually reaching to the Indian team and doing well for them. So I think that plays a big role, because we understand that we are together, right? We'll get praises together, and we'll get criticism together. So amongst each other, we cannot fight, because if we are fighting amongst each other, then, it's not a team. So team sport, I think, has a big reason is that because of the team sport, we have to be together. We have to have an individual goal, not an individual goal, but team goal, that what individuals have to do to reach that team goal. So I think that really makes a difference, because all of us are together, same journey, and then whatever we get, we'll get it together. We've never had this thought process in our team that I should get this and this person should not get this, because eventually all of us think about our team and Indian cricket. So that is why I think camaraderie stays.
No, but I mean, how do you resist the temptation or the mental temptation for just kind of saying that, like, yeah, this new young kid who's now 21 years old is bowling as fast or faster than I used to, and then how do you resist the temptation of being threatened by somebody who's, who's appearing like he has a potential to take your spot on the team?
But then that comes with a lot of, you have to be secure as a person. If you get insecure, then you cannot play this sport, because there'll always be competition, and that is good for you, right? If you want to be pushed, you want to be challenged, and you want to keep going further. If you're too comfortable in your skin, you'll not get a lot of results. So I look at it this way, that okay, times are changing. If somebody is coming who's very good, so it's my job to help him, and then there's a healthy competition. In that healthy competition, the team benefits. So you have to look at it this way. You cannot be insecure, and you cannot be thinking that, I have to be better than this person. You have to be comfortable in your own skin, and you have to be confident of what you do, and you have to be pushed. In any field, if you're not being pushed, you'll never be utilizing your full potential.
Fantastic. Okay, great. Super. No, Bumrah, more power to you. Okay, I have a long rapid fire. I really couldn't prune it down as much as I wanted to. I normally do. So we'll get to that. But can I get a quick show of hands? How many questions there are? Oh gosh. So do you mind if we take two at a time? Yeah. Okay. Let's start at the back. Can you get the mic at the back, please? Yeah. The gentleman in the blue shirt and the gentleman in front of him. Yes, please wait for a mic. And do a short introduction of yourself, please. Yeah. We generally like to, we believe in affirmative action, so more women hands up, we'll get more mics. Generally, that's how we do it. Go ahead. Mics on. And can the first row also, can I see some hands on the first row as well, please? Yeah. Yes, good. Yes.
Is this audible?
Yes.
Hi, Jasprit. Arjit here from My Bike. 2 weeks back, I was right outside your society के Jasprit से मिलना है. I got to know World Cup से वापस आ गए हैं. आपकी security ने deny कर दिया, but destiny has it. I'm here today, finally. Jasprit, beyond cricket, is it too early for you to have ambitions beyond cricket? How you're thinking to leverage on this? This city needs a sports icon like you. So, are there any ideas around beyond cricket in terms of impact? Just want to know that side of you.
See, obviously, it's a little too early to be thinking about, what is life after sport. But obviously, I am passionate about the sport, and I would want to help the sport in the best way I can. But yes, I live here, I am from here, and I started my journey from here, so I would want to help as many people as I can when the time comes, even till date. So yes, I've not yet thought about, too far ahead, because then I will not be able to enjoy the now, because I want to enjoy my whole journey. I want to give it my absolute best. I don't want any regrets. So I've not really thought about what is after the sport, but if given an opportunity, I would love to, help the sport and give it back to the game.
Yes, in front, please. The gentleman in the same table in front there. Okay, there's a lady behind you. You can give it to her. Yeah, the lady behind you. Yes.
Hi, Jasprit.
Short intro, short
Big
question,
fan.
please.
Yeah.
You got a lot to go.
I'm Aarti. Big fan of your bowling, as everyone is. My question is, you go ups and downs. How your family tackles, how your wife, how your children go through this whole journey?
We'll take one more question at the
Yes.
same time.
Okay.
One more question there. Yeah. In front first. Right here. Please give it. Short.
Yeah, this is Dharmesh Shah, Vice Chancellor of the university. I just have because when you started a career as a bowler, you know there is a traditional bowling actions, and your bowling action is completely different. So I'm sure that you must have an initial struggles getting into the team. And what is your mindset during that period?
Okay. So, to answer the first question, my son is 10 months old, so he doesn't know what is ups and downs, and he doesn't know what is good day, bad day. He's happy all the time. But my family, as I told you, that my family is who's come from an education background. They understand how the sport works, in the sense that we've kept life very simple. At home, I'm not an India player, or I'm a test captain. So I'm not that person. At home, if my mom tells me I have to sit down and eat food, I have to sit down and eat food. I listen to my family and try to keep it as simple as possible. And, not to think about it and try to take everything on my stride. Everything, as I said before in the interview as well, ups and downs will be a part of your life. If you want to grow in life, you have to go through that journey. So I take it in that aspect. When a down comes, it's come to make me better. So I think about it that way. And the good is there. You don't, lose your shape, or you become crazy that you are the be all and end all. So you take everything with a pinch of salt. You accept the good times and you accept the bad times as well. And the second question was related to my action. So yes, I never really faced struggles to get into the team, but I never really had a lot of formal cricket growing up. But I always believed in my action. So I thought that it doesn't matter if people are not believing, because if I'll play on others' confidence, it will never work. So I told myself that this is how it is, and I'll try and improve and try to get the best out of this.
Can we get the mic to the first row here, just to move around? I saw a gentleman here, please. Yeah, go ahead. And somebody else.
Hi, Jasprit. I'm Mr. Kamata. I'm a businessman. So my question is business. So when do you see as a business? I see you as a businessman, starting your own startup. And when do we get to finance you? Because you have a nice business brain. That much I know.
See, this is the first time I've heard that I have a business mind. But yes, obviously, you think about all of those things. But I have not really thought about having a startup, because you have to have a good idea before, starting a startup. My father was a businessman, so I know what is, how a businessman's life is. But hopefully, if I have a good idea, I will let you know, and then you can finance the idea.
Wait, did you open a restaurant recently? Did I hear that wrong?
No, that's
a
false story. I don't have a restaurant. But if somebody wants to gift me a restaurant, no problem. I'll take it happily.
Well, I'm Bhagyesh Jha. I'm poet, author, and ex-sports secretary. I would like to know that you said there is 80% hard work and all that. How do you divide your daily routine in between family, fitness, and practice?
So right now, my life is pretty simple. I don't dictate terms. My son dictates terms. We live my life according to how his schedule is. And then accordingly, I have to accommodate my commercial aspects, my cricket time. So cricket is first. Along with my family, I give time with my family, and what I have to do in cricket aspects, I look after that. And then rest of the things you have to accommodate in that. So that's how it is. Priority is family first, obviously, and then we plan our schedule according to it, and we try to squeeze everything else according to that.
Go ahead.
Hi Jasprit, my name is Mitesh. I'm from Express Adda. My question is how you make yourself happy, like family and everything, and then other things?
For me, the biggest happiness came when when I played for India, and my mother, because I lost my father very early, we faced a lot of struggles. But the amount of pride that she has, she's so proud of the achievements that I've gotten. That makes me really happy. Family makes me really happy. Making my family happy, doing things for my family, really gives me the best satisfaction that a person can get.
Jasprit, I'll just intervene. You also have a sister, and the bond which we see in a few things which I've read also. How has that grown over the years? Because from the early days to now, I think she follows you or manages you a bit, right? So if you can just bit about the contribution of your sister in your growth.
It's very important. So like I told you that my father passed away when I was in second grade and my sister was in fourth. So we became very close as a family because then life suddenly changed, and then you become. We had some financial issues as well. Then you humble beginnings. So then my mother started working. So we became very close as a family that we had to go through a lot of ups and downs. So that bond became stronger and stronger, and it's only grown over the years. So she obviously. Now she's in the makeup industry, so she does my makeup when we do shoots. So, but we as a family are very, very close that we discuss good days or bad days, but we don't really deviate a lot, or we don't want to change ourselves too much because we've seen ups and downs both. So we want to be as normal as we can and, live a normal life and get happy with the small achievements that we get. And move forward with life. So she's very not a sports fan, but she's very happy she started watching the sport because of me, and she still doesn't understand everything, but she gets very happy when I do well and people congratulate her that your brother is doing really well.
Doesn't advise you on bowling?
Not at all, not even a single advice.
Can we aim on the first row here? No? Yeah, right there. And then the lady on the first round table.
I'm Yamal Vyas, spokesperson of the BJP. I don't follow cricket too closely, so please forgive me. But Anderson, I believe, played international cricket for 2 decades, and he just retired. You are almost halfway through, little more than halfway through that. Do you intend to continue for about a decade more and be better known than him?
See, I don't know what will happen after a decade, but I am not thinking about that. See, I want to enjoy whatever cricket I get. So I'm not thinking of a particular number or a particular time, but I want to give it my absolute best until my heart doesn't say no, I'm not going to stop. So that's how I look at things.
Please.
Hi, Jasprit. My name is Anu. I'm an author myself. Having said that, we are here as a fan, and I have a question from my son. He's in Hong Kong, and that's the reason I was very keen to kind of ask you. He sent me 3. I'll quickly ask you 2. You choose the one which you want to answer. First one, he says, what made you switch from a long run to a short run up? And the second one he's asking is, do you miss playing cricket when you were young in a gully? So you can choose whatever you want to answer.
So I'll answer both, it's okay. So when I was a kid, there was a bench, so I had only that much space. So that is why the short run-up was there. And when I came to serious cricket, my pace didn't really change. So I thought might as well not run so much and not put more pressure on your body. So that is why my run-up is short. And sorry, what was the other question? I forgot. Gully cricket, yes. I have the same friends. So we still play the same. Obviously, their ability to play has gone down massively. So I take a lot of advantage of that. But I still have the same friends, and we still get an opportunity. I have my own farmhouse over there. We get opportunity. We still play, and I still don't let them win. So the company is still the same. I don't miss it because I still do it. So that is the end of it.
Jasprit, there is a batsman in you also.
There is a batsman, but I do it out of the profession. There's no real love for batting for me because I enjoy bowling, but I don't want to be a liability. So obviously you have a limited amount of skill in that. So you try to work hard and try to help the team that, you just don't go out there and come back as soon as possible. But yes, you worked on it, and eventually I also have a test record that came with that, but I don't have a batsman in me, but I try to help the team in whatever way I can, and I don't want to be a liability, so that is why I worked hard on it.
Okay, lovely. I'll take one last question and we get to the rapid fire. So any women I can see? Yeah, please. Yes, yeah, first row, please. Go ahead. We try to have equal men and women on the page, with the audience questions. So.
What is your opinion about the women cricket team?
I'm very happy that they're doing really well. My wife is a sports presenter and she works a lot in cricket, but she's very, very passionate about women's cricket. She talks very, very highly. She gets very emotional. Sometimes when I lose, she doesn't really care so much. But when the women's team, if something goes wrong, she feels very passionate. She has a lot of opinions that, this should happen, that should happen. So I'm very happy the sport is growing. Anyone, be it a boy or a girl, they should fall in love with the sport, and the sport should take it further, and it teaches you a lot in life. So yeah, good to see and very happy to see them progressing, and I wish them all the best, and hopefully it grows even more.
And equal pay, that's the big
See, again, I told you it's not my decision. For me, everybody should make a lot of money. Please go ahead, and they should get everything that they deserve.
Okay, lovely. Okay, going to the rapid fire, short answers, and have fun with it. Okay, the funniest sledge you remember hearing on field?
It's not a sledge, but sometimes people, come smiling to me and say, go easy on me. And that sometimes I find funny that because are they trying to play some game or they're serious? So I sometimes don't figure it out.
Okay. If there's one cricketing rule you had the power to change or modify, what would it be?
That no ball free hit should go away.
Okay. One thing no one knows about your wife.
That when I made my debut in my first year in international, that was her first year in sports. She started as a presenter, so we started at the same time.
Okay, yeah, lovely. Your favorite moment in the entire T20 World Cup? What was that? Your one favorite moment?
The last ball that finally we won. We've been trying really hard. And midway through the game, you're confident, but, people started getting quiet a little bit, and, shoulders started dropping. So from there we won. That was an unreal feeling.
Super. By and large, sportsmanship in cricket, has it increased, decreased, or stayed the same since the day you joined?
I think it's increased quite a lot.
Okay. If the one umpire decision that you still think was wrong?
See, obviously, right or wrong is different, but in the World Cup final, if you would have seen, I got an umpire's call on Manas Labuschagne. So I still, whenever I meet Richard, I tell him that he could have given that out, but I don't have that power. It was a decision that was made.
Okay. If not Mumbai Indians, which team would you like to be in?
No idea. I've not really thought about it. It's always been Mumbai Indians. First game I've played for them, so it's been more than 10 years.
Okay. Your favorite celebrity sighting at the Ambani wedding?
The Ambani wedding? Oh, it's an interesting question, but I always wanted to meet Rajnikant, so I met him. So, yeah, I think that would be...
Yeah, that's an answer. The one wicket that brings a smile to your face? Ollie Pope, Sean Marsh, Mohammad Rizwan, Ollie Robinson, or Virat Kohli on the IPL debut?
I think I'll take Virat Kohli because I was a 19-year-old kid. I'm still convincing myself that, I belong here. Obviously, that one wicket didn't change it, but Virat Kohli is the one.
Okay, lovely. Is there any brand or type of product you'd never endorse?
I would never endorse. I've not really thought about it, but I don't know. I might not be, I don't know.
Okay.
If it comes, I'll let you know.
Okay.
I might not be doing dating apps, I think. So I think that doesn't really go with me.
Okay. Energy drinks, yay or nay?
Everything in moderation is yay.
Okay. The last time your wife and you disagreed on a cricketing matter?
She doesn't have a lot of opinions on my game, so...
Not your game, but on cricket overall.
On cricket...
Like say a DRS or a rain rule or something.
No, we don't really disagree on cricket. We disagree on other things, but that is not for the public forum.
Okay. The greatest Indian cricket captain ever?
See, my favorite captain is me, because I have captained a few games. So obviously, there are great captains, but I will take my name that, I am my favorite captain.
I didn't expect that answer. It was a great answer. Good answer. Okay, you learned how to bowl Yorkers from watching them on YouTube. Now, which bowler do you find yourself watching on YouTube?
I don't know if anybody is watching me or not, but I know a lot of kids do watch my bowling.
No. Who do you watch?
Which
bowler do you watch?
Now?
Yeah.
Now I don't.
Any bowler you watch on?
I don't watch a lot of cricket nowadays, but no one. I don't watch any.
Okay. The one commentator whose commentary you look forward to. Gavaskar, Shastri, Bhogle, Hayden or Bishop?
Ian Bishop. Ian Bishop I really like. Ravi Shastri is also great, but Ian Bishop has that Caribbean.
Okay. The one bowler you believe has the potential to one day be the next Jasprit Bumrah?
I hope everyone becomes even better than me. I don't look at one bowler. All the bowlers, Siraj, Arshdeep, Avesh, everyone, Mukesh, please go ahead and do even better.
Okay. Is the Indian cricket team overworked? Yes or no?
Overworked.
Overworked. Is it an overworked team?
See, you have a small career. I would never say that, you know, my stomach is full of cricket.
Okay, lovely. Who was the best captain the Indian cricket team never had?
How would I know if they've never captained? So that is something that I don't know. I don't have an answer to.
Okay, the one thing you'd do if you were the ICC president for a day.
It would be interesting to have a T20 match with a red ball. So that would be something that would be interesting to see.
What is Jasprit Bumrah scared of?
Scared of? Not really thought about it, but yeah, anything that comes to my family, I'm very secure and I'm very possessive about my family. So I think anything that comes to that.
Okay. Your biggest regret?
I have no regrets.
Nothing
because
personal?
every journey, everything has made me reach here.
Super. Okay. My last question. What's next for Jasprit Bumrah?
Next is going home and having dinner. So that is how it is. I don't plan. I've never planned. So I don't want to plan. I'm sure that if I do everything right, something greater is there in stock.
Super. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Jasprit, making the time. Thank you to the audience. It was a great conversation. Very rare one. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Thank you, Anant and Sandeep, for a fabulous session. May I now invite Anant to present a token of appreciation. A very special frame of the first story done by the Indian Express on Bumrah back in 2016. As we conclude, I would like to thank our partners, presenting partner Religare Enterprises Limited, co-presented by Adani and GMTC, associate partner Parur University, Wealth 361, Gadvi Gujri, Explera Vacations, MSME Bharat Manch, Omega Seki Mobility.